Hi, Sally Walker here, your hormone and slow age expert. So let's talk about sex. Yes. Okay, so how does menopause affect your sexual appetite? So this is a question that this is a symptom which many of my lady clients do suffer with, complain about, ask about, etc. So your desire for sex is very much affected by certain hormones. And it's not necessarily just as simple as replacing some of the estrogen, which is the major hormone for us ladies and sex. So estrogen gives you the passion, the desire for sex. So why we have lots of estrogen? So in particular, during our cycle, so we're before menopause now, we're in our fertile years. So in the cycle, which is roughly 28 days, between the days sort of 6 and 7-ish and day 14, we have a very nice increase of estrogen. And as estrogen levels increase, we're getting the egg ready for ovulation. Our mood changes from being relatively stable through our bleed period. And now we become more and more horny. So we have the desire for sex. Now, we ladies, we tend to like the whole package. So we want the lovey-dovey stuff, we want the foreplay, we want all this kind of stuff going on. And that's what estrogen does. It gives us this passion to have sex. So after menopause, we lose that nice incline, if you like. So estrogen stabilizes as such, it levels off. We don't have the highs and the lows that we had in our fertile years. So we lose that passion. Now, ladies, what I really want you to understand here is that because you've lost the passion doesn't necessarily mean that you've lost your sex drive. We need to reform the way we look at sex. Because there's another hormone that is very interesting and very important for our sexual appetite, and that is testosterone. So many ladies maintain their testosterone levels, especially in the first sort of 10 years after menopause. Then maybe it is lower, and it's here where maybe replacing testosterone can be a good idea. But testosterone is the driver, it's the sex driver. So think of the boys. They don't necessarily need all the lovey-dovey foreplay, do they? They want sex and they want it now, and it's going to be on the kitchen table. Yeah? So that's what testosterone does. And maybe you can remember this, ladies. So back to that cycle before your menopause, when you were in your fertile years, we got that nice incline of estrogen and the passion for sex is increasing. And then around ovulation time, you get a little peak in testosterone. And that's the driver. So you're passionate, you want some sex as such, but now it becomes urgent. Yeah, you've got 48 hours to get that egg fertilized. So you want sex and you want it now, and you want it on the kitchen table. That's the difference, the passion and the drive. So we lose a lot of the passion, but we don't necessarily lose our sex drive. And that is why supporting testosterone can be a very good thing to do after menopause. As I said, typically the first 10 years, if you go menopause at 50, you might not need to consider this until the late 50s and maybe even early 60s, because we do still have a little bit of production of testosterone in our ovaries for many years after. Interesting? It is very interesting, isn't it? So what about other hormones and how do they affect? Because it's not just the case of estrogen and testosterone. We've got another hormone called progesterone. So progesterone does the opposite. It actually decreases your sex desire. And then the last hormone, which is majorly important, is cortisol. So cortisol we call the stress hormone, and that will absolutely decrease your sex needs in all kinds of ways. So the more stressed you are after menopause, ladies, the more cortisol you will be producing, the less sex you will want, absolutely. So you want to think a little bit about the estrogen. So estrogen also makes sex possible because it's going to keep your vagina nice and healthy and nice and hydrated, etc. And keep the mechanics working, which is very, very important. because poor mechanics, dry vagina is going to make for painful sex, and you just don't want it anymore. So estrogen really has a double role. It's going to make you feel a little bit more sexy, and then the testosterone is going to give you the drive. Yeah, so sexy and horny, if you like, a little bit of different there. So you're going to feel sexy with the estrogen, and you're going to have the driver. You're going to want the sex now on the kitchen table because of the testosterone. But keep those stress levels down. Very, very important. And keep those vaginas lubricated. Happy hormones, happy life.